Hey guys, if you are watching this video, there's a good chance that you are interested in selling your home and moving into an RV so you can live the full-time RV lifestyle. And that is what we're going to talk to you about in this video. We just sold our house and we're going to give you an overview of that process. Hey guys, welcome to Living Tomorrow Today. My name is Julio.
And I'm Nicole.
And as I said, we are going to discuss selling your home so that you can start living in an RV. So what we did was that we sold our house ourselves. We did not use a realtor. And this is going to be an overview, and I'm sure I'm not going to cover all of the topics, or I'm not going to be able to answer all your questions. I probably should have written notes like Nicole always tells me to do, but I never do that. So I'm just going to kind of run through some thoughts. Yeah, I'm going to run through some thoughts with you, and then I'll probably make another video where I organize this a little bit better. You're watching this because you want to do the full-time RV life, which is what we are doing now.
We're in it.
Yeah,
we're in the thick of it.
Yeah, we're doing it. We're not traveling full-time yet. I'm in my last month of work. Actually, I'm down to like, I think 11 work days is what I have left, I believe. But
I'm done.
Yeah. Nicole finished up school already, so or teaching. Let me start off by saying that we are not real estate professionals in any way, and I am only telling you what we did. If you want to follow what we did, then
do so at your own discretion.
Yeah, make sure you research and you find out the laws for your state. We sold our home in Texas, so I don't know, I know there's different rules and regulations and everything in different states, so make sure you are aware of that. Secondly, it's not a bad idea to have a realtor if you have never bought a house or sold a house or nothing like that. We have a little bit of experience in buying and selling homes. We always used a realtor, but this was not our very first time. And as a matter of fact, as we are making this video, Nicole is getting messages from a friend of ours who is selling her house by herself, and she knows that we just went through that. So we're kind of answering those questions for her. So with that, I will say that, and
sorry, my allergies are really bad, so. And
this is not to offend any of our friends who are real estate agents. I have a whole bunch of them, and they all did a great job for us. However, we decided to do for sale by owner because I felt I could do it. I didn't. Well, there's a couple of reasons.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't get too far ahead.
Yeah,
there's a couple of things. One, first of all, I would have to say our location. I think our location plays a huge factor in the fact that we decided to sell by ourselves. We're in a very rural area. For us,
a big concern was that we wanted to make some money on the sale of the house
because of our location.
As everybody does. And we've had the home for 3 years, so when we were coming up with how much our house could sell for and how much we owed on it still, we were going to pay $18,000 in realtor fees, which is 3% on each side, 3% for the buyer, 3% for the seller, so a total of 6%. That was going to come out to, like I said, $18,000, and that was going to take a huge chunk of the profits that we could potentially make. And I did not want to do that because, one, I know we needed the money because of what we're doing now, and two, I thought that I could do it. I felt comfortable enough in researching it and being able to do it. Now, I will say that the biggest, a really good reason to have a realtor is that they come with protections. You are liable, if you do for sale by owner, you're liable for anything that goes wrong with that contract. You may be sued if something goes wrong after the sale of the house. When you have a realtor, you have that protection that the realtor comes with. None of the liability falls on you. So but with that said, I felt comfortable being able to try this on our own, and for us it ended up being successful, and we saved ourselves $9,000 in realtor fees. So we only ended up paying 3% for the buyer. So let's see, there's a whole bunch of things that go into this topic. I think...
If you would have made notes.
Yeah, I know. So the first thing is, if you want to sell your house, I strongly recommend, if you can do it somehow, is to buy your RV before you sell the house. And the reason I say that is because for us, we were able to move out of the house and move into the RV so that we could start staging the house. And I will say that Nicole did a fantastic job. She kind of took the lead on that in making sure that the house looked good every time somebody came to look at it, and the house was clean and all this other stuff. And the big thing with not living in the house is that you don't want people that are coming to look at it to see you living in it. Like they don't want to see your stuff. Yeah, they don't want to see your stuff.
See your toothbrush.
You want to be able to let them imagine themselves living in the house, not see that you are still living in the house. We took a lot of our clothes out, like Nicole said, our toothbrushes, like the bathrooms and everything were spotless. I mean, they looked like nice public bathrooms because there was nothing that identified us in there.
I think that was it was a team effort.
Yeah.
You went through the house and you took pretty much everything down off the walls.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Is
you don't want, we took down every single photo of us. Yep. You know, there was a few little random things here and there, but for the most part, there was no sign of us anywhere in the house.
And one thing that you want to remove from the house is not just visual, but smells. The way you live, or maybe you have pets or whatever, there is an odor to us that we may not recognize when we live in the house. And somebody did actually bring that up. They said that our house smelled really good, and that was one reason they really liked it, because they had seen other homes that they also liked, but they were like, oh, it just smelled weird, or it just smelled like the people. And that's something I never even thought of.
They said that they could tell that they had tried to just use plug-ins or whatever to try to mask the smell. That the house was clean, but it had an odd smell to it, and that turned them off.
Yeah.
And they kind of were like, "Ugh, what's behind that smell? Why, what?"
And that one couple did actually end up making an offer on our house as well. So make sure, if you can, get an RV. Move into the RV, pull everything out of the house.
Quit cooking in there.
Yeah, stop cooking. Every time somebody was going to come in the house was very stressful for us because we would spend the whole day cleaning. Nicole was really good about bleaching everything down and just mopping and really doing a good cleaning out of the house. Even though we weren't living in it, it still was a lot of work. So I think if we were living in it, it would be even harder. And the more people come and look at it, it's stressful every time because you have all your stuff is in there.
What do we do with the pets? What
do
we do with the kids?
So it was nice that we didn't live in the house, even though it was still work trying to prep it. So that's one thing I would say is if you can get the RV, do that first.
I think we're a little ADD when we're talking.
Yeah, I know. If you can't, you can't. I mean, I get it. Maybe you need to use the money from the sale of the house to buy the RV. So totally understandable. Then in that case, just do the absolute best you can.
Get a storage unit.
Yeah, even that would, get a storage unit. $50 a month, even if it's like for 2 or 3 months, that small investment will really pay off in making sure that you sell the house quickly.
Your sanity.
That you get a full price offer, maybe even above selling price. The better your house looks, the easier selling it is going to go. And I know we've talked in other videos about selling early, selling all your stuff early. So if you, again, and I'll restate that because I can't say that enough. If you are thinking of becoming a full-time RVer, I don't care how far away it seems like you
are. Even if you're like 2 years from now, 3 years from now.
If you know you're going to do it, start selling your stuff now.
I mean,
because you can make more money,
yeah,
and you don't have the pressure that we had to go through, and you don't have to have a massive just give it away frenzy.
I think we thought we were doing really well too, because we had gotten rid of and we had went through the house and taken down a bunch of stuff, and we had been selling for a long time. However, we got to a point where we kind of slowed down a little bit because, I mean, it's tiring. It's a lot of work. And so we started slowing down. You know, I was working all the time. I had a lot of stuff to do. Once it gets closer to the end of the year, I had a ton of stuff. You were working overtime, everything. So we kind of slowed down on selling. So at the very last minute, I mean, we literally were just come and pick it up and take it.
Yeah.
Just take it. If you decide to resell it yourself, that's fine. Just come get it. And I mean, we ended up getting rid of a lot of stuff. I mean, you always think like, oh, we're doing pretty good. I mean, we had already been in the travel trailer for a while, but still there was things that you always keep pulling stuff out of cabinets and finding other things, and you're like, oh, there's that, no, there's that, and there's that, and we gave it all away.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's one thing, or that was kind of a side note.
Start selling early.
Yeah, start selling early is a side note. So the first thing that we did, we've never sold a home by ourselves.
You just
the first thought I had was like, because we've sold houses before, I remembered that all the paperwork was done at the title company. So I just called a title company and I said, hey, look, I'm looking to sell my house myself. What paperwork do I need? And they were extremely helpful, and they said, yeah, we have an entire packet of for sale by owner and you can come pick it up. So that's what we did. We just went by there and we looked at the packet, and then
you read everything very carefully and thoroughly.
And then I was like, okay, this doesn't look super complicated. I mean, there's a lot to, I mean, at first I was like, I don't know what all this paperwork is, but you know, I can research it, and that's what I did. I Googled the documents, and I kind of figured out what it was. And I even went back to our old paperwork from our previous sale, and I was like, okay, and now I know what this is. I was able to get an understanding of the paperwork that I needed. As far as the marketing side of it, I built the website for our house. I've also worked in social media marketing, so I built a small campaign for our home, and then I put our home on Zillow as well, and that's a big one too. And I can talk about that separately because there's some different steps that go in with putting it on Zillow. And then
you shot drone footage.
Yeah, I shot drone footage of the house. So I mean, I did everything that if I was a buyer, I would want to see, you know. So
you took photos of the house as well.
Yeah. So once everything was emptied out, we took photos.
Staged,
and so like I said, when the house was nice and clean, we took staging photos, drone footage. I built the website. I did a small marketing campaign on Facebook, and that's also another topic. I only spent $50, I think, but I was able to get thousands of engagements on Facebook, and I got a lot of phone calls and stuff like that. So now, in our case, a friend of Nicole's, or an acquaintance from work, was interested in buying the house, and at first we were super excited about that because they didn't have a realtor, we didn't have a realtor, so we were going to save a ton of money not having to pay any realtor fees. But the house didn't work for them, which is totally fine. I mean, you should obviously buy the house that you want. And you know, our house and our property just wasn't exactly what they were looking for. So I started getting phone calls from realtors, and what they will say is like, hey, I have a buyer that might be interested. Are you willing to work with a realtor? And what they mean by that is, are you going to pay my fee? And initially I was saying, no, I'd like to just do this on our own, or you know, with no realtors. So they would say, okay, thanks, hang up. And they wouldn't show my property to their client, which in a way is like, okay, that's kind of messed up, you know, for your client. Like, they may like our house, but also they need to make money. So I mean, I kind of get it.
It's just one of those things.
Yeah. So it is what it is. So after getting several of those phone calls of, hey, you know, will you work with a realtor? Or sometimes they would just ask, will you pay the realtor fee? After saying no a few times, I was like, I think we're going to sell quicker if we just pay the realtor fee, or if we are willing to negotiate it or something like that. So I started saying yes. And as soon as I said yes, they were like, okay, can we schedule a time to go look at it and all this other stuff? And then from there, the process was really, really fast. As soon as I said yes,
we had a showing.
Yeah, we had showings, and people would come in and look at the house. Our house sold really quick. I think like
they were the first people that
in like
came
less than a
to our
week,
house.
we were under contract. Or had an offer anyways.
We actually had multiple offers.
Yeah. The biggest thing for us was, since we knew that we had to sell the house so that we could do this, Our number one goal was selling, even if we made no money, but we didn't want to have to lose any money on the house. Anything we made would have been, was a plus. And then once we got a better understanding of what the house was going to sell for, and we knew we were going to make some money, then we were interested in making a little bit of money. But I think if we would have waited, honestly, I think we could have sold the house for more. Like I said, for us, we were on the timeline and we knew we had to sell the house. So we priced the house, I think, for what was a great price. I think we could have asked for more, but we were more concerned with selling the house instead of trying to wait for that buyer that was going to offer us what we wanted. So once you start working with a realtor, it's going to go really fast, and there's some benefits to paying the buyer's realtor fee, which is going to more than likely be 3%, because you are going to basically pay their fee. It is in that realtor's interest to make sure that the sale of the house goes through, otherwise they don't get paid. So I found that the realtors that we were working with were very friendly, and they were very eager to make sure that the house sold. And they did a lot of the paperwork for us, but I read everything. I didn't just sign it. So I read what they were putting in the contract and all this other stuff. And
but that's the thing. I mean, they were setting up the contracts. They were changing the dates out if dates need to be changed and things like that, because, like you said, they want to make sure that the house gets sold.
Yeah, because that's how they get paid. If the house doesn't sell, or there's an issue or something like that, that realtor does not get paid. They don't work for us, but it benefits them to make sure that the process goes smoothly, so that they get paid. They still work for the buyers, but I mean, we found that it was a simple kind of painless it didn't feel like a them versus us type of process. It felt very like we're working together to get this done. So I would say, just go ahead and pay the realtor fee. If you can negotiate maybe 2% or something like that, then even better, but we did the 3%. But once the buyers make an offer and you agree with it, a lot of it really is just done for you.
Earnest money, title, or whatever. What is it? Earnest and.
So then the realtor is going to draw up the contract, and then read over the contract, make sure everything is good on that, and once you agree with everything that is in the contract, the buyers are going to probably give you some earnest money, and what that is just, it's money that they're saying showing that they're serious about buying the house. It can be, the earnest money can really be any amount. It's usually a few $1,000s that they give to the title company to hold, and it's just like a promise or like Nicole said, it's a way of showing that they're serious about buying the house. And and to show that we're serious, we're going to put down $2,000. That money goes to the sale of the house, so it's not like they lose it, but it can be written in the contract that if they back out of the sale of the house, you can keep that earnest money, or it can be written that they get the money back. So that's something to make sure you look into the contract. And then really it just comes down to waiting for closing day. Their realtor is going to send you a bunch of paperwork that you guys have to digitally sign, read it, as long as you agree with everything, sign it, and then you just close. I know I'm making it sound like it's really simple, but it really was. Like it was not as complicated as I thought it was going to be. I don't want to downplay the importance of making sure that you fully understand what is written in that contract, and also making sure that you don't lie about any of the forms on the status of the house or anything, because you are liable after that. If you have foundation problems, but you don't disclose that, or you had somebody come work on your foundation and you just choose to not put that in there, and then the buyers find out after the sale of the house, they can sue you for that. And even though the sale is done and everything, you'll have to get it fixed for them. So again, all the liability falls on you when you do for sale by owner. So don't lie about anything, and make sure you're honest about all the condition of the house and all that other stuff. But okay, so let's recap all of this. You want to sell your house by yourself, then my recommendation is get the RV if you can and move out of the house into the RV. Once your house is ready to get shown, then start your own little marketing campaign like we did. I built the website, I did a Facebook marketing campaign, I put it on Zillow, and if you guys need help with that, I'll put information in the description that can show you
Some resources.
some resources. I can, if you want to hire me to build you a website, I can do that. All that'll be in the description. Or if you just have questions, email us, and I mean, I can walk you through it in more detail.
Call the title company.
Yeah, call the title company, ask them, hey, I'm gonna sell my house by myself. Can you give me some information? Hopefully they'll give you a packet, go through the packet, understand what is in there. And then when you start getting phone calls from the realtor, make sure that you tell them that yes, you will pay their fee if that's something you're willing to do. And as soon as you say yes, you're going to start getting people coming to look at the house. Once you get an offer that you like,
refuse.
yeah, once you get the offer that you want, from their realtor, because you are paying them essentially, is going to help you. Hopefully, at least that was the case for us. They're going to guide you through the process, and they're going to send you a bunch of paperwork that you digitally sign. Make sure you read that, make sure you understand it, and once you do understand it, do the signature, send it back.
I think that's one big thing, especially if you're doing it by yourself. Take the time to read through it and understand what you're signing. Don't just look at, okay, sign it.
Yeah, you have time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have time to read it, you know. So once you understand it, then a closing date is going to be set up, and then once that closing date comes, you sit with the title company, and your house is sold.
Mm-hmm. It is a simple process. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think it felt any different this time doing it on our own than it did with the realtor.
Yeah.
You know, the other times that we had sold our house, I mean, it's the same thing. The realtor sat with us and we signed and stuff like that. And this time nobody was sitting with us.
Yeah.
But you
the
know,
biggest thing was that when we had questions, I couldn't turn to somebody and be like, hey, what does this mean?
Yeah.
I had to kind of look it up. And really then I didn't have questions because the realtor took care of it for us. Is it worth thousands of dollars? I don't know. That's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
We thought we could do it, and we did it, and it was a relatively smooth process. Anyways, that's just kind of a real quick overview of how we sold our house by ourselves and were able to save money. And now we are living in our RV park. So if you guys have any questions, I know we were kind of scatterbrained, please leave us a question in the comments. If you want to send us an email, I'll put our email. I'm going to write up a blog about this that I'll put on our website. Our website is livingtomorrowtodayrv.com. And you can, once the blog is set up, you can go there and read more about it. And just kind of look at our website and learn a little bit more about us.
Maybe it won't seem so spastic.
Yeah, I know. So, all right. If you are new to the channel, as always, we invite you to subscribe and hit that notification bell so that you know when we put out a new video. And if you got anything out of this video, please give us a thumbs up, and we will see you at the next video.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.